Hello and welcome to another video here on ML45 TV. I hope you're doing good. I certainly am. Today I want to talk about the first week of the World Cup, especially about those games that were the most entertaining and surprising for me. And even though I haven't seen half of those games, I have still watched the highlights of almost every game, I would say. Especially of the big teams and the big nations. For me, the best game so far was the England versus Croatia game, which ended in a 4-2 win for England. I was a little surprised that England were starting so strong. I thought that Croatia would be the more dominant team and that game would end in a draw. But even though England were struggling a little bit in the first half, they showed their ambitions and potential in the second half. Me personally, Bellingham and of course Harry Kane were outstanding in that game. And of course Rashford too. I think England has showed that in the halftime break that they really can, that they are able to switch between their tactics and their approaches, and that they have a lot of big quality on their bench, that they have the best squad with France in this tournament, I would say. And that, like I said in my prediction video for the European teams, I would be very surprised if England wouldn't stand in the final on 19th of July. I think that would be very disappointing and that would be almost a shame, I would say, if you consider the quality that they have in their squad and the good coach that they have, because Thomas Tuchel is a very good coach. He's one of the best German coaches and one of the best coaches in football in general, I would say. I think he is the best fit for the English national team as a coach, even better than Jurgen Klopp would be, I would say personally, because he has this, this finesse and this tactical, knowledge and everything, and he has this special way of coaching, I would say. Sometimes that can be a weakness for him, because if he wants too much, if he's too greedy, too ambitious, that can be, it can be a little toxic. I would say he fits. He's the best fit for England as a coach, and we will see how far he will make it and how successful he will be with the English national team. That was definitely a good start though. Argentina surprised me a lot too, because I didn't count them into the line of favorites in this World Cup, but their performance, and especially Messi's performance against a decent Algeria team, impressed me a lot. I wouldn't have thought that I would see Messi score a hat-trick in the World Cup ever again. I'm not sure if he's ever scored a hat-trick in a World Cup game. I'm not quite sure about that. I don't know that. What about that? Argentina are now back on my list of favorites, that's for sure. They might really make it very far again, and especially if they continue like they played in this first game. If Messi can keep in his good shape, in his good performance, and his good form. Two teams that surprised me also were Portugal and Spain. They surprised me negatively, of course, because I thought that they would start their World Cup campaign with crushing wins against their African opponents. But as we have seen, that sometimes even the smallest teams can cause the biggest surprises. And Cape Verde, and especially their goalkeeper Vozinha, were leaving Spain desperate and were frustrating Spain. They showed the world that they cannot be underestimated in this tournament. That they not only have a good goalkeeper, but also a big unity in their team. And Congo showed Portugal that it takes more than Ronaldo to beat them. And I'm pretty sure that especially those two small teams, that they could make it, Cape Verde and Congo, that they could make it very far in this tournament. They could make it further than people think in this tournament. The teams that also surprised me were Germany, Norway and Sweden, and the USA. Of course, even though they were playing against rather weaker teams, they impressed me with the dominance and clarity that they beat their opponents with, and their attacking force and their attacking power, of course. I wouldn't have thought, especially for example Germany, I wouldn't have thought that I would ever see them score 7 goals in a World Cup game ever again. But also Sweden and Norway, they were very, like, I knew that Norway has a very strong attack, like that they are very offensively very strong, and but I wouldn't have thought that Sweden is that strong, would be that strong, and the USA that they would be that dominant, Of course, maybe it's not a surprise because they do have their fans with them, and they are at home and everything. They do have the support of their fans and have a big part of the nation, I would say. Not all of them, but a big part. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they would make it very far too in this tournament. And yeah, so this was my little summary of the first World Cup week, of the games that impressed me or surprised me. And I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.